Hey guys, it's time. It's football, college football Saturday. We're getting ready for NFL Sunday, and we have a ton of free picks for you on the Football Live Cap. My name is Allie Burns. Welcome to the show. With me, as always, I have Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. Nick, how's it going this weekend?
Not bad, not bad. We're switching things up a little bit. We decided to skip the Friday show. We'll probably go back to Friday next week, but we're just trying to see what we can do on Saturday and see the kind of viewership and interaction that we can get on a weekend morning show here when everybody's at home. And I can see that we're already getting probably a few more viewers than normal right when we're starting here. So that is totally good news.
I think it's fun to do it on Saturday because everyone's kind of got their app open and their trigger finger ready. And it's like, just give me something, right? Our inner degenerate tends to take over a little bit on football Saturdays. Speaking of taking over a little bit, the Insiders Room is absolutely crushing it over at the Picks and Parlays leaderboard. I was looking in on you, Nick. In English Premier League soccer, you're number 2. In NFL, you're number 12. In baseball, you're number 5. In hockey, you're number 2. I mean, you're crushing it over there, man.
Yeah, no, I'm just, it's been great since the restart and feeling pretty confident with my looks and my takes and the way that my situational handicapping is done. And then also being able to bounce my ideas and thoughts off of the Discord, the Insiders Room Discord and the core group of guys in there. So yeah, no, that's been great. And yeah, I just hit Everton there this morning in the Premier League. So I'm looking forward to the rest of today and also a big Sunday. Yeah, I'm 8-5 so far in the NFL. Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's card. I actually really like it. I like a few of those games a lot. And just looking at the college board right now, I'm seeing Oklahoma up 14-0 on Kansas State here. Mm-hmm. And so that was a play that you and I talked about. I gave that one out. That was or maybe that was with Chelsea earlier in the week. Right.
Don't confuse the blondes, Nick. We don't like that. We don't like that. Well, speaking of other picks and parlays people, we do have a celebrity guest today. Not a celebrity guest, but he's a celebrity to me because he's such a solid handicapper. Dan Kaiser is going to be on the show in just a little bit to give us some free picks. He's crushing it as well. He's number 8 in the NBA. I think he's number 3 in the NFL and number 8 in college football. So this guy kicks butt, and he'll be on in a couple of minutes to give us some free picks of his own. So we were going to start out with college. I was going to go Georgia and Arkansas. I'm really excited about this game.
Okay.
So
what do you think?
Okay, so just to set it up, Georgia is minus 28 points. The total is at 53 on this one. It's moving up from 51, but I got to say, I think this one is going to go under. And I also have already taken the points with Arkansas. I think we need to do a segment called What I'm Already On, because this would be one that I'm already on. And I think that a lot of people are nervous about Arkansas because they were so horrible last year. But they've got this new head coach named Sam Pittman. And Sam Pittman came from Georgia. He's got a real good analysis on what this team can do and what they're made of. So, I like that as a little bit of an edge. I also don't think that Kirby Smart is going to want to run up the points really hardcore on his old buddy from Georgia. I don't think he's going to want to embarrass him or anything. So, yeah, I like Arkansas with the points here. What do you think about it?
Well, I'm a little wary about that. Yeah, Franks adds a veteran presence in a year when the team is learning a new system under center there. But Arkansas, it's 3-7 in its last 10 SEC games. Georgia, there's been some changes with it as well, but it's 20-6. Its last 26 on 20-6 against the spread. Its last 26 on the road. And so as far as and so you liked the under and you were going to take the points. Is that correct? Or did you even have a play? Did you have a lean on the total?
I like it under. I like it to go under. I think everyone's kind of just getting started out. And like I said, I don't think Georgia's going to run up too many points on his old bud. Yeah, I think this one will stay under. That's where I'm at. But even more, my stronger play is with the points. Felipe Franks was bad A, okay? I don't know if you remember, but that kid turned around the season. They were 10-3 with, who was he? Florida he played with. And then he got injured and he transferred to Arkansas. But he turned that program around. They were 10-3 in 2018. I'm not saying that he's like going to totally turn around Arkansas on this very first game, but he definitely has some firepower and motivation to get the job done. So I wouldn't overlook Felipe Franks on this one.
Right. I think that's a really sharp analysis there. But
and not to mention real quick that Georgia is on their third string quarterback. Jamie Newman opted out. Other dude gone, so now they're on this third string quarterback. I have his name here somewhere, but I mean, how good is he really going to be? I see there could be a lot of turnovers happening. So yeah, again, Arkansas with the points. That's where I'm at.
Right. That's a good call. One other game that we were going to look at, and which I'm a little more prepared to talk about, was Mississippi State and LSU, right?
Yes.
That's a huge game.
These are my two favorite coaches in college football, going head to head. I'm a Minshew fan. He let me down on Thursday, but this is where he comes from.
Right.
But
as you said, many of these teams are being hit hard by opting out, and that's certainly been the case with LSU, obviously.
Yeah, they've lost 14 players. So just to set it up, it's Mississippi State is at number 6 LSU. It's LSU minus 17. The total's 56.5. That's up from 55.5, so it's leaning towards an over. And so, yeah, Mike Leach, who used to be at Washington State, is now at Mississippi State. Ed Orgeron is there, but he's lost 14 of his players, including Dave Aranda, who's now a head coach over at Baylor. That was his DC. So yeah, LSU's got some work to do. I'm already on it. Mississippi State plus the points. What do you got?
You know what? I like Mississippi State as well. And in fact, I just saw half an hour ago that the line had dropped to 14.5. So yeah, the money's coming in. LSU hammered the Bulldogs last year, 36-13 on the road. But yeah, with Mike Leach, and then they also have the transfer quarterback coming over from Stanford, Costello.
KJ Costello, Costello.
And so, I mean, he's tailor-made for a Leach offense, and yeah, as you pointed out, Joe Burrow's gone. I mean, it's going to be difficult to replace 60 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, which he had last year, And they also lost almost their entire offensive core. Only 2 starters returned to the unit. So it's Miles Brennan. He had a few snaps last year, but the only starting receiver to return is Terrace Marshall.
Yep.
The Tigers' defense, it was good last year. It's going to be tested this year with only 4 starters returning. And so, yeah, LSU was good on defense last year, but it had a luxury of having such a great offense that sometimes its little mistakes were masked because it could make a couple of mistakes and it knew that it would get bailed out by that dynamic offense.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have that luxury this year. Now the pressure lies definitely on the defense on this team. But you see, the thing is, LSU isn't trying to rebuild; it's trying to reload. And I'm unsure if that's going to work out this year. And so I have faith in Mike Leach. I think he's a good head coach, and I like Costello as a quarterback. And so I'm not going to call for an outright upset or anything, but yeah, I think this is too many points to be giving up. As I say, that line is coming down. So yeah, I'm with you. I definitely, absolutely like Mississippi State in this one for sure.
What do you think about a total? It screams over, doesn't it? But that kind of makes me say, no, it's going to be under. It screams over. But that's because I think everyone is so used to, you see LSU and you're like, oh my God, they're going to score 1 million points. They're so good. But that was last year's school. And that's what the betting public has to remember is you can't fall in love with a team and ride them forever. They rebuild, they reload. It's a whole different year.
Well, Mike Leach, it's all about the air raid offense, but Mississippi State did average 220 yards on the ground last year. Now, they're going to get away from the run a lot, but still, this is still an offense that had that going for it last year as well. So yeah, perhaps you're thinking there of taking the under could be the way to go in this one.
They still got to play the game. We'll have to see. I mean, Mike Leach has the most productive passing offense in the country. So my strongest play is definitely not on the total. I think it could really go.
Yes, my strongest lean. Yeah, I don't have a play on that game. So my strongest lean is definitely Mississippi State as well.
All right. How are our commenters doing? How are our adoring fans? Do you guys have any?
I'm having a little bit of difficulty following along today. I'm trying to find our video there, but are you able to see on here we go. Finally I'm able to connect here on Facebook on YouTube. And so I'm not seeing any of the other guys. I see Craig Trapp is saying go guys, and Rycape is saying no love for LSU. He loves the under.
Yeah.
So Rycape, yeah.
I feel like that's the play.
Well, there you go. We're getting more and more people agreeing with us there. I wonder if our guest might agree with us there. Maybe he could give us an opinion on that. What do you think?
Let's do it. Let's bring in Dan Kaiser from Picks and Parlays. You can find him on picksandparlays.net. Buy his picks. He is sharp, y'all, like a tack sharp. Dan Kaiser, how's it going?
Well, it's going good. Good afternoon or good morning on the left coast for you guys. But yeah, it's going good.
Where are you located, Dan?
Michigan.
Michigan. All right. Hey.
Go State.
Go State. I'm a big Tom Izzo girl, so I'm with you there. Okay, so you want to talk some Alabama and Missouri with me? Because this feels like it should be pretty straightforward, but I don't know that it necessarily is. Alabama's number 2. They're at Missouri, minus 29 points, and the total is 56. Hit me with your best shot.
All right. Where in the nation can a team have an 11-win season? It feels like a disappointment. I think only in Tuscaloosa. Last season, it was such a letdown for them. They didn't even make the college playoffs. Coming in this year, you got Mac Jones returning at quarterback. He looked good when he had to replace Tua last year. Can that hold up for a full season? We'll see. But they do have Bryce Young in the wings, and he's already been pretty much the future of the program going forward. They're loaded again in the offense. Najee Harris comes back, who's basically in the Heisman Trophy conversation. They got 2 great wide receivers coming back. And, as always, they just plug in new players every year on that offense. Their defense has got some key players coming back. Dylan Moses, who was lost, I think, the first game or in practice last year. He comes back, and he's considered one of the best defensive players in the country. You go to Missouri, new head coach is coming in. He led Appalachian State last year to the Sun Belt Conference. Obviously, this is the SEC, so it'll be a little bit different. They do have a veteran quarterback in Sean Robinson from TCU and a veteran running back who's got 2,700 yards and 26 touchdowns to his resume in his career. Their defense was great last year. They were top 15 in the country for yards allowed. So they should give Alabama a little bit of a tussle. The thing about this game that I was going back and forth on is the fact that I kind of disagree with you, Allie, about running up the score. Maybe Georgia won't, but I think these teams, not knowing how many games they're going to have this year and with COVID, and they need to make an impression. I think every team's going to try to score as many points as they can.
That's a good point.
That being said, Missouri's defense is not bad, and 28. You said it's 28.5. I've seen it as 27.5. I'm just going to say if you can get 28, or more. I think Missouri, first game of the season, will keep this one close, keep it within the number. But if it was later in the season, I'd definitely be all over Alabama.
Yes.
But just because it is their first game, I think Saban will want to get more players involved to get them a little bit of experience and going forward in case they do lose players later in the year to testing.
Right. Well, my idea on this, like why it would go under, is that Alabama is known to come out early and just wreck shop. And I was thinking probably, somewhere around the half. a lot of those guys are going to sit and other guys will get playing time. And so that is what's going to keep the score under, was what I was thinking.
I agree.
Great. Sure.
Yeah, great.
Listen, blonde girl.
Since being a Bama guy also.
Right.
Just their second and third string guys are always so good. You know, it's not like it's not like my alma mater, Michigan State, whose third string guys could still probably hardly play high school football. And Bama's got, you know, their backups are five-star players. So
right.
You know,
Rycape is saying here that he likes Mizzou to cover.
Yeah.
Negarito and Rosarito is here as well. He's giving a few smiley faces and being positive to everyone here today. And so, Dan, you broke that down well. Did you have any other questions about that game, Allie, for Dan?
So what was the pick? You got me thinking. You got me all in my head. What was the pick?
My pick was Missouri and the points.
All right. That's my pick too. So, okay. I totally agree.
Well, there. And Rycape agrees with you guys as well.
And you like it to go over and I like it to go under? Or you just say stay off the total?
I don't have any idea on the total, to be honest.
We'll just leave that alone. Leave that alone.
Did you have any opinion on that on the first game that we reviewed there, Dan? Mississippi State, LSU.
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I'm with you. One of my two favorite coaches is in this game. That's Mike Leach.
Yes.
If you ever heard
Pirates!
it's only there's nothing better than a Mike Leach press conference.
Yes,
You never know what you're going to get.
That guy is so smart. It's insane. It's insane.
So, yeah, I like Mississippi State in that one. I think the LSU's there's too many questions. Not only did they lose a defensive coordinator, they lost their offensive mind also in Joe Brady. So, right. You know, early in the season, I'm not saying LSU is going to fall off the wagon or fall off the cliff and be terrible, but it's the first game with a lot of new parts and a lot of new faces. So I'd rather take the points in that one.
Take it the points. All right. So should we move into some NFL action?
Absolutely. Good call.
All right. So Dan says he's got a good read on the Bengals and Eagles game, and I want to know all about it. The Bengals are the favorite, -5.5. Or the Eagles, I'm sorry. The Bengals are my favorite. The Eagles are the favorite, -5.5. The total is at 47.5. You know I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, but where do we go with this one?
All right. So, you know, if at the beginning of the season, if you came in and said both these teams would be 0-2, and one looked like they had some promise and the other one was a dumpster fire, you would probably say the Bengals are the dumpster fire. But that's not the case. The Eagles are just terrible this year.
Yeah. Really bad.
And I don't know. I don't know what's happened to Carson Wentz. He looks to have lost something since, you know, when he was in talk of being MVP a couple of years ago. They got pounded by Cleveland. They gave up a huge lead to Washington. And so I'm not sure where that team's going. Unlike you, I was not a Joe Burrow fan at LSU.
What did he ever do to you? But cash your tickets, Dan, huh? What did he ever do to you? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I probably didn't cash my ticket, so that's probably one thing. But he has looked impressive. I mean, he's thrown for 509 yards so far this season, 3 touchdowns and an interception. You know, he could have brought him back in that Chargers game if it wasn't for a penalty. He's looked, especially down like on the last minute drives, he's looked good. He got me the cover against. He got me the cover against Cleveland on that 30 in the last seconds. So yeah, so I cashed that one.
I cashed that one.
So I'm a little bit higher on them. You know, it's just the Eagles. I just don't know where they're at defensively. They don't look good. Wentz is thrown for 512 yards, but 2 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. I mean, he's looking like Kirk Cousins out there. He's not playing well. But the big thing for this is, to me, it's the other numbers. Cincinnati's 9-4 against the spread in the last 13 games on the road. And Philadelphia's 3-7 ATS in their last 10 games overall. And I think Cincinnati's like 9-0 between these two teams. So I just look at how these two. It's like kind of an eye test on this one. One team looks terrible. The other team looks all right. I'll take the team that looks all right, especially getting 5.5 points.
Yeah.
And they just seem to have Philadelphia's number. So all those things together, I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one.
Yeah, I have that same the same analysis I had last week about Joe Burrow, that he comes from a winning culture. He's used to winning football games, and he hasn't been at all. And so I think he wants that win. He is hungry to get his first NFL win. Yep. And I think the motivation lies with them. I think the talent lies with them. And as we all know, a home field advantage isn't really actually an advantage this season. So, yeah, I'm with you on this. What about you, Nick? What do you think about Bengals and Eagles?
I have a play on this game, but one thing I wanted to point out was, Burrow has been good. He has the 3 touchdowns and the 1 interception, but the run game has been basically non-existent for Cincinnati to begin with. And so that definitely makes the offense one-dimensional. Joe Mixon has just 114 yards total through 2 games. Also, Burrow's been sacked 6 times. So there are some issues with Cincinnati. Obviously, there's big issues with Philadelphia as well. But no, I think when Dan said it's about an eye test with these two teams, and if that's the way you're going to go, that I would agree with that for the most part, for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
that was a spot on analysis there. It is an eye test. All right.
I don't know if I trust my eyes, but
all right, so let's move into some Packers and Saints. This is the late game tomorrow night. Packers are 2-0. Saints are 1-1. They're on a short week from playing Monday Night Football and losing to the Raiders. Showing the Saints -3. The total is 52.5, which seems kind of low to me. Saints are in a rough spot. What do you guys think about this one?
Personally, I don't have any official play on this or anything, but my strongest play on this particular game would be on the Saints here. Maybe even laying the price and taking on the money line, I think, is a wise move. Green Bay is 2-0. New Orleans is 1-1. Aaron Rodgers already has 6 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Obviously, Green Bay looked pretty good, and it's 42-21 win over the Lions. But this is another case. It's just sort of what I was talking about with LSU earlier. The Packers' hot start on the offensive side has been it masks its poor defense. So far, it's allowed 27.5 points per game. That's ranked 21st. The Saints aren't much better. They opened with a decent home win at home over Tom Brady and the Bucs, but then they lost 34-24 to the Raiders on Monday Night Football. I actually, unfortunately, had a play on the Saints in that one. And I'm still 8-5 overall currently at Picks and Parlays. But yeah, the Raiders did have many advantages in that one, and I think that Dan, you had Las Vegas in that game, didn't you?
Monday night, yeah.
Yeah, and
I did too. I was on the money line and the over. It was a double
the fact that they were playing their first game in that new stadium, that's a big factor, and I think that obviously helped the whole team getting amped up in their new stadium on the national stage and everything. But now New Orleans is back home in friendly confines. The Saints are the hungry one here. They're looking to make a statement after last week's disappointing effort. And actually, it's interesting to note that New Orleans outgained the Raiders last weekend, 424 to 375.
I was going to say, I was looking at those stats, and they were dead even. Same amount of first downs, 2 less of this, 1 more of that. The difference maker was the penalties. They had 10 penalties for 129. They gave them a football field and a third. They gave that to the Raiders. Here, it's for you. You take this. We don't need it. If they play like that again, they will not beat the Packers. That will not happen. But I would imagine that they are a veteran enough team and with a strong enough coach and head quarterback that they're going to make some adjustments and they're going to fix that for this next game. But that was Bush League, Saints, Bush League.
Sorry about that. I just the joys of streaming from home, and your 3-year-old son starts banging on the door. So I just had to excuse myself for 1 second there.
I had to sneak out and let my cat outside while Dan was going. So we're live here, people. Okay,
Yeah.
This is the real thing. So what do you think, Dan, about Packers and Saints? I interrupted you, Nick. Sorry. Did you have anything else to say about that?
No, that's my read on that one. The Saints, they're averaging 29 points per game. They're conceding 28.5, but they're 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 after allowing 33 points or more in a road loss in their previous game. So yeah, I think I like New Orleans against the spread. I also think if you don't mind laying the money line, that's also worth a second look.
What about you, Dan?
Well,
Daniel.
I kind of got mixed emotions about this game. Earlier in the week, I really liked the Packers. But Nick, and I think the part of what Nick was saying about the Packers defense, I think those numbers are a little bit skewed because they had such a huge lead against Minnesota.
Yeah.
That, I don't think they were really playing great defense in the fourth quarter. But I'm rooting for the Saints. One of them, Nick and I's mutual friends, talked me out of playing the Packers in the Westgate contest. So I'm definitely hoping for the Saints to win in this one.
Right is saying he likes the Saints to cover. He thinks the defense tightens up. No Adams. Green Bay will have trouble scoring.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Devontae Adams is out. In game 1, he had 14 receptions, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. Game 2, only 3 receptions, but 36 yards. So he's averaging 12 yards per carry there. That's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. My play on this is going to be on the over. Game 1, Green Bay, the total was 45. It went to 77. Game 2, total was 51. It went to 63. For the Saints, game 1 was 48. It went to 57. Game 2 was 48. It went to 58. These are like way overs. This isn't a point or two. And like you said, defenses are a little wonky. Saints will probably tighten it up. Maybe Devontae Adams has something to do with that. Total not going as over as it could, but I like this to go over. I mean, the Packers are just so fun to watch. And Rodgers wants to stick it to Breeze, and Breeze wants to stick it to Rodgers. This is like 2 veteran quarterbacks going head to head here.
Yeah, I don't have a firm read on the total, but after that loss last week, obviously Breeze is going to be out. I don't think that, he hasn't yet had a big game. The Saints haven't. They did just enough to get by Tampa. Really, and even Tampa could have covered the spread there in that one right at the end. And then last week as well, the offense hasn't been fully clicking yet, and so I guess that I would sort of lean that way as well, in thinking that he's returning home off that sort of shaky game, and he'll definitely be looking to open up this offense and finally get some points on the board.
I like the Packers here. I'm just going to say it. I know y'all are all on the Saints, but I'm going to be the contrarian here, and I'm going to take the Packers and some points.
Nice.
All right. So how about the Jets and the Colts? This is like a funny one because it's 2 like really lackluster teams, but the line movement is the most exciting thing of this game. It opened, the Colts opened as a 7-point favorite, and they're all the way up to 11.5 now. And sometimes that's a problem because, I have a thing with getting the best number. It's part of why I like to in-play so much. Like, I want the best number. And I think when it goes that far away from where it started, it's like you can't take that number anymore. You're past it now. What do you guys think? Is 11.5, 12 points too many points?
What do you think, Dan? Is this another eye test sort of game here that you're looking at, or what do you think? Sam Darnold, Frank Gore, Jamison Crowder?
I think if I was watching this game, I'd poke my eyes out.
Well, the Jets, they're 0-2 against the spread.
If I didn't have money on it, I'm not watching.
To be honest, I don't know. To be honest, I have no thoughts on this game. I just think 11.5 points given the Colts of all teams giving 11.5 points is a lot, but it's the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't bet this game with somebody else's money, to be honest.
Here's an interesting stat, Ali, and I brought this up on one of our other shows recently, but I'll bring it up again. And so this is for teams that have started 0-2 against the spread to begin the season.
This is a good one. Yeah, that's a
good
one.
So how do they perform in week 3? And so over the last 4 seasons, they've gone 22-7 against the spread. So that's 75.9%. And over the last 10 seasons, they have gone 47-28 against the spread for 62.7%. And so the teams that are 0-2 against the spread this year are the Jets, the Browns, the Titans, the Texans, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Panthers. So that will be something that maybe we could, Ali, next week on Football Friday.
Yes.
We could look at this group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
9.
7, 8, 9 teams and see what they did. And I think
I love that.
Yeah.
I call that handicapping your handicapping.
There you go. Yeah, that'll be an interesting thing to see how these teams do. So what do you think there, Dan?
Well, with the Tennessee playing the Vikings, at least one of them will win.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm on Tennessee on that one. I've already bet that. I've already got Tennessee.
Okay.
I hope that's okay with you guys.
Of course.
But for the Colts-Jets game, Phillip Rivers is really prone to turnovers. The Jets haven't managed to put 20 points up on the board all season. So I like this total to go under. And I know it's kind of a low under as it is, but I mean, I'm looking under 44 is what we're at. That's kind of where I'm at on this one. What do you guys think about an under here?
Well, the Jets defense has given up 27 and 31 points over the first 2 games. But as we have stated before, that a team that starts 0-3, the chances of even making the playoffs are astronomical. So if this is going to be New York's best shot and they're, this weekend, then yeah, I would think that after giving up so many points over the first 2, that I would tend to lean to the under in this one as well.
There's a guy in my fantasy football team, on my old fantasy football team, and his team name is Sam Darnold Jets. And that's like just always stuck in my head that they're the same Darnold Jets. What are you going to do? You just can't expect much out of them. And I don't, if you show me who you really are, I'm going to believe you. So, I mean, bring it to me. Bring it to me, Colts. Yeah, bring it to me, Colts.
So
I do have a couple quick rapid fire picks from Craig Trapp.
Okay.
I just got them to drop them on our viewers real quick if you're looking for some other action. So Titans at the Vikings. Craig says take the Titans -3.5 and take the under 49. Ryan Tannehill has been the man so far. Raiders at Patriots. Take the Patriots -6 and take it over 47.5. Both of these defenses have allowed 120 rush yards per game. In the Bucks at the Broncos, take the Bucks -6. And no play on the total there. However, the Broncos have covered in both games, so I don't know. But he says take the Bucks -6. Cowboys at Seahawks, take Seattle -5. The total is 56. This is the highest total of the week, so keep your eyes out for that one. And then Craig Trapp, Packers Saints. He says take the Packers +3, and it's going to go over the total of 52. All right, me and Craig are on the same thing. You guys are on your team, and me and Craig are on our team. Okay.
Well, here Rye Cape is saying too many points. Jets are nothing, and he also says he's on the Pats. And El Negrito and Rosarito says, man, the New York Jets ain't making it. No plays. Colts all day. So he likes the Colts as well.
Well, I like the Colts to win the game, but it's too many points. I'm with Rye Cape here that you take all those points that are like totally, there's an overreaction happening there. When a line moves that much, there's an overreaction happening. So, I mean, I think you play the Colts because now you're getting play the Jets because now you're getting all these points you weren't supposed to. Right. I think the Colts definitely win the game. I don't see the Jets do. I don't know. Something crazy could happen.
That's
still
got
to play the game.
It always does. That's right.
Yeah, Sam Darnold could learn how to play quarterback again.
Yeah. Hey, how about that?
Dan, you've been a great guest for sure. A great first guest. I think this has been a good show.
Yeah.
And so maybe you could come back. We'll try to get other people on, though, don't you think, Ellie, as well?
Yeah, definitely. We should always have someone on, especially on Football Fridays. Like, we can hold down Wednesday, but there's a lot of things to talk about on Friday on football. So
agreed. I'm really looking forward to next Friday. And next Wednesday, of course, at 3 Eastern. Yes.
Yes, Wednesdays and Fridays at 3 Eastern. And join in. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love having your comments. I love hearing your opinions on things. And we just let us know how, what else we can do to make it a better show for you guys. All right, y'all. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you so much to Dan Kaiser. Thanks always to Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. You guys check them out at the picksandparlays.net leaderboards. We have all of our sports, all leagues are listed out. Who's at the head of the boards. It's super interesting, and it's a great way to pick your capper if you want to buy a subscription or a weekly pass or anything like that. All right, that just about does it, guys. I'm Allie Burns. Find me at Plus Money Honey on Twitter, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
See you guys.